Well, Betty, welcome to Amberley Village, and thank you for coming in to speak to us.
My pleasure.
I'd like to learn a little bit more about you.
Okay.
So, how long have you lived in Amberley Village?
33 years.
And where did you move from?
Around the corner, Galbraith Road.
So you were in Deer Park or
Actually, it's something else.
Sycamore Township?
Yeah, Sycamore Township.
So you're in Sycamore Township,
Yeah.
You just moved around the corner.
Right.
Okay, so you and your husband lived there in Sycamore Township and decided
Yes.
to move into Amberley?
Yes.
And so what brought you to Amberley? What attracted you to Amberley?
Well, where we lived on Galbraith Road was a creek, and we had 2 dogs and outside, and the animals kept barking, and our neighbors started complaining. So I told my husband, we had a farm in Ripley, and I told my husband, I said, well, there's 2 places I'll move, Amberley or Indian Hill. Well, Amberley was a little cheaper, so plus it was very handy to go to work down Expressway in downtown.
Okay, all right. So you didn't move too far then?
No.
Okay. What did you know about Amberley at that time?
Not much, really.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know anybody. Just this house that I live in just happened to go up for sale, and that was in June. And I was retiring from the company, and we put a bid in and we didn't get it, which did not bother me. And then in September, the people that bought it put it up for sale again. So we ended up buying it after all.
Oh my goodness, that's coincidental.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that worked out.
So you've lived on in your house for 33 years here in the village. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what's your favorite aspect of living in Amberley Village?
Oh, well, I'm very happy with the police department and the maintenance department and so on. Everyone is so nice. If you have any problems, you just call and a policeman will come and help you. Such as recently when the electric went out, we were going out and we couldn't get out because there's an electric door.
The garage
so
door?
The police had to come and put the garage door up. And everybody's very kind and helpful, and the maintenance guys are great.
So when the electric was out and you wanted to leave, you called the police department to come and assist.
Yeah.
That's an excellent service.
It's permanent, and they're all very pleasant.
Yes. Okay.
Because after 33 years, I know most of them.
So I know that you chose to have a second home in Fort Myers Beach, and now you have a second home in, is it Boca Raton? Are you in Boca?
No, we just rent there.
You just rent?
We just rent there. No more property.
Okay. So, but did you own in Fort Myers Beach, or did you just rent there?
No, I had a place there.
You had a place there, okay. And so what prompted you to go there for a second home?
Because we had friends down there, and I kept going down there and staying with them. And one day I saw a place, it was actually a modular home, and I saw this one for sale, and I told Roscoe, I said, stop over there, and I ended up buying it that afternoon.
Okay. And so you never thought about moving from Amberley Village to Fort Myers Beach full-time?
No, my husband was getting sick.
Okay.
And I could tell he was getting dementia.
Okay.
So, but I thought it would be nice, like we're doing now, going down to out of the ice and snow. So that's why I did that. But I never did live down there. Okay. I ended up renting it because my husband got worse.
And so now you're renting a place on the Atlantic side.
Yes.
So what community are you in?
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton, yeah. Okay, all right. And is there a difference in the services between what you see with Boca Raton versus Amberley Village?
Actually, I've never had any contact with anybody.
Okay.
You know, I'm just in this building and everything's perfect.
Okay, all right. All right, so I met you when you were asked by our mayor, J.K. Byer, to sing the national anthem at our council meeting.
That was when you first came on.
Yes. How did that begin? How did that happen?
My husband was a Shriner,
Okay.
and J.K. was a Shriner. And I used to sing, when the Shrine Circus came to Cincinnati, one night I would sing the national anthem at the circus.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
And then J.K. was the MC.
Okay.
So we were, and I knew that he lived around the corner in Amberley.
Mm-hmm.
So when he became mayor, he asked me to come do it.
Okay.
I really thought it was superfluous, but
Yes.
he wanted it, so I did it. I think, the Pledge of Allegiance is enough. You don't need that too. So, but he wanted it, so I did it. Mm-hmm.
And so what was your reaction when you were doing it? Because we don't typically have many people at a council meeting.
Well, it depends what's going on. Like the night that they voted on letting the people have chickens in their backyard.
Oh.
It was very busy that night.
Okay.
The rest of the time, it was just the same people that come and sit there all the time and so on.
Mm-hmm. Some of our regular visitors to the council meeting.
Yeah.
So you remember the chicken meeting then?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Were you a proponent of the chicken ordinance or not?
I could care less. But the funny part was I knew a lot of the people because they were friends of my bosses. And they are all saying, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I live in Amberley." And their kids wanted the chickens, so they were coming to vote for it. Mm-hmm.
Did that happen to be the night when the lady sat in the audience with her chicken? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, she brought her chicken with her. Yeah.
No, or maybe she did that night. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that did generate some people.
I must admit, I didn't stay for the whole meeting.
Oh, you cut out early, huh?
Of course. I'm not going to sit and listen to that.
So is that what you normally did? You come and do the
I would
singing
do
the
that
national anthem?
and listen to your report, which I didn't understand, and it was a bunch of figures. And so then after that, I would leave.
Okay, so you've been involved with Amberley for quite a few years,
Right.
in a variety of ways.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to donate a tree in your husband's memory?
Well, I thought I was helping Amberley and when they said that you could put a tree, I thought, well, I'll just do that in memory of my husband, who was a World War II veteran.
A veteran? Okay, all right. And that's why you have a flag out there?
U.S. Navy, yeah.
U.S. Navy?
Actually, I didn't put the flag there. I usually put one, for the holidays.
Okay.
But some man, Tama, you probably know, he asked if he could put a flag there. And I've been very happy that he did.
Yeah. So you planted a tree in his memory. And did you get to select the location or the tree? Or
No.
You just
Just
wanted to
gave you money.
to do it. Okay. All right. All right. So you were married to your husband how long?
24 years.
24 years.
His wife was my best friend, and she died. She died of a heart attack at age of 51, and I was not married because I had my parents in Scotland, and I felt since I'm an only child, I felt I was dedicated to going home all the time. Secondly, I don't have any family in this country. And if I got married and everything did not go well and I had 4 kids, what was I going to do?
Okay.
So you have to think of things that way.
Sure. So you were raised in Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you come to the United States?
1954.
And what brought you here?
My father had a brother here, so my uncle sponsored me. I am here legally.
Thank you.
Doge or whatever it is, the ice can't get rid of me.
So did your uncle live in Cincinnati?
Yeah, they lived in Oakley.
Oakley.
Yeah.
So what age were you in 1954 when you came here?
I was 18.
You were 18. And what prompted you to move from where your family was to come to the United States?
I felt like I had a better chance of being more progressive and so on than I would be in Scotland.
And so in Scotland, where did you live? Was it urban? Was it rural? Or?
It was urban. And Glasgow is a great big city. And of course, during the war, I was evacuated for 2 years. I had just started school in 1940 when the bombs came. So I was evacuated for 2 years. And right now, someone is putting on Facebook pictures of Glasgow and so on. But it was an urban area and everybody lived in tenements and so on. And when I tell people that we didn't have hot water and, you know, we barely had food. I was lucky that my girlfriend at school, her mother had a big house around the corner, but it was a tenement house, but it had lots of rooms. So when the Americans when the hotel around the corner was filled, they would rent at her house and they would bring their ration cards with them. So she would give us more food, you know.
Wow.
But we didn't have a lot of food or anything like that.
So this was in Glasgow?
Yes.
Glasgow's a pretty large city.
It's a very large city, and it used to be, well, all the Cunard liners were built there. Shipbuilding was very much so. Tate and Lyle Sugar Company and a lot of the big companies were there.
So you indicate that you were evacuated for 2 years. Where were you evacuated to?
My mother had a cousin that had a holiday house on an island very close by. But it was about half an hour on a boat from after you go down the river a little bit, take the train down the river and then take the boat over to the Rothsay.
So you were seeking shelter away from Glasgow,
right?
Because of the bombing.
We could hear the airplanes going over to bomb, but we were not bombed. You know, it was just a little tiny island. So
you were there for 2 years.
2 years, and it was one of those little tiny schools. So when I came back to the city, I was 2 years ahead of myself. With the result that when I was 15, I went to college and got an associate's degree. And then I was 1952 when I got that. And in 1953, I decided to come to America, and I worked 3 jobs a day.
3 jobs a day?
3 jobs a day. I was a secretary from 9 to 5:30. Ran home to save the streetcar, 2 or 3 cents, and worked in a bookmaker's office. It was legal. It was the only legal bookmaker. And I worked there from 6 to 9, and then I ran across the street to a cafe and was a waitress from 9 till 11. And if I got half a cent for a tip, that was something. Wow. They didn't give tips in those days.
So where was this at?
Glasgow, right in the center.
So were you just trying to survive?
Basically, yes, making enough money I came to this country with $25 in my pocket.
$25?
$25.
In 1953?
I came on Thursday. And on Monday, I went to General Motors in Norwood, and I got a job right away. And I came home, and of course, we didn't have telephones or anything in Scotland. And I got a phone call at 2 o'clock and got fired. The personnel department didn't realize that I didn't even have a Social Security card yet. And they hired me. And it was a government job, a secret government job, and they fired me before I even got started.
Oh my goodness. All that happened rather quickly?
Yeah. There was an ad in the paper on Sunday, and I went there on Monday and interviewed and got the job. That was 11 o'clock when I left there, and 2 o'clock I got fired. The personnel department looked and thought, good Lord, she's not even got a Social Security card. She's just off the boat.
Okay. So what did you do after that?
I ended up going to the Baldwin Piano Company.
Baldwin Piano. So they were headquartered in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And how did you come across them?
The newspaper ad.
Okay, all right. And what did you do for Baldwin Piano?
I was secretary, and then head of the department, his secretary left, so I got that job right away, and I was content there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And this is all while you were 18 years old?
well, I was 19 by
19.
that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
So when you came here, did you stay with your uncle?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I stayed with him for 5 years.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I branched out.
Mm-hmm. And so your uncle had established himself here?
Oh, he had been here since the 20s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Baldwin Piano is where you got your start.
That's where I
here.
got my start.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
as a secretary.
And I worked a couple of other jobs, and then I ended up going to the David Joseph Company.
So what's the David Joseph Company?
It's the largest scrap broker in the United States. They buy and sell scrap, but you don't see the scrap. It's like a stockbroker. And I worked for the CEO of that company. And I worked there 25 years. And then it was, my boss was David Joseph, a very prominent man here in Cincinnati. And since I had been taking care of his family affairs as well as working for the Joseph Company, I ended up working for him. I just retired 5 years ago. I worked 50 years for the family.
Worked 50 years.
I was 85 when I retired. I hope you can retire earlier.
Oh, goodness, Betty. So what did you do for the CEO? Were you involved with finances? Were you involved with the secretary? Or what all were you doing?
In those days, you were a secretary. Today, you're an administrative assistant. But I took care of, basically, it was a not very big company at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I took care of the travel for the district managers and organized meetings and general stuff for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you were doing a lot of
I was doing a
different
lot of
tasks.
things, different
Yes,
things,
you were
yeah. Mm-hmm.
serving a critical role
Right.
for Mr. Joseph.
And he was very prominent in the city.
Okay.
And one of the things that he did, he was on the board of the the Cincinnati Symphony.
Okay.
And it was his idea to do Riverbend. So I did a lot of work with Riverbend.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So Riverbend was built during that time?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He and one man from Procter & Gamble worked on it. And went down and saw Dudley Taft, and who owned the property. And
Yeah.
Dudley says, "Yeah, I'll let you have the property, but you have to name it the Hulbert Taft Theater," and so on. So,
Wow.
and then you would go to all these buddies and get money and
Shake
so
it up.
on. Yeah, talk to a lot of them. Uh-huh.
So the 25 years working for David Joseph.
Yes,
And
but
then
it actually was owned. After a few years, it was bought by the Dutch SHV.
Okay.
So I was in contact with people in Holland all the time.
A little closer to your roots then.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can relate to that probably.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So when you say that the David Joseph Corporation they didn't purchase scrap, they just traded it?
They purchased it like from Armco
Okay.
in Hamilton and all over the United States. And then there's 90% of scrap goes into new scrap, into new steel,
product, okay.
new steel.
Uh-huh.
So they buy and sell. And in a couple of areas, they had a scrap yard. We had one downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one in South Carolina or North Carolina, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it was owned by Nucor, and SHV was beginning to sell off some of their properties here in the United States, and Nucor ended up buying it, but that was after I left.
Okay. All right. So you retired at age 85.
Yeah, at 85, I retired.
Mm-hmm. And so you've enjoyed retirement since then.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You worked hard for that retirement.
I did.
So what prompted you to retire?
Well, I thought it was about time that the boys learned what was going on in their family, and they should take it over. Because I was doing everything, and what if I croaked? What happened to them? They didn't know what to do. So the property in Michigan, they didn't. In fact, last year, when Don was in my companion now, when he was in the hospital, I got a call from Charlevoix, Michigan, and they still had my name, and they said that they hadn't paid their electric bill, and if it wasn't paid by that night, they wasn't going to have electric the next morning. So I finally got a hold of David. No, I couldn't get a hold of him, so I got a hold of the guy that used to be the caretaker, and I said, Fern, we got to do something. And I said, if I pay the bill, it's going to confuse everything. So they finally got a hold of David, and he had to run down and pay the bill. The boys had not paid it, so it showed you how good I was. I kept everything going, and they didn't have to worry.
So Betty, you said you were raised in Scotland. So did you go to primary school and then high school?
I started at four and a half. We don't have kindergarten and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And you said that you had already advanced so quickly that by the time you were 15, you went and got your associate's
because
degree.
of the small school, and it was just one building.
So what was it like when you were at that age and you were thinking of this idea of coming to America? What was going on in the world at that time?
Well, we were still rationed for food. You still had ration books, and we were, you had coupons to buy clothing and so on. Well, people with big family would sell their coupons so that you can, of course, me, I was growing up and my feet were getting bigger and I was getting bigger and needed clothes. And, we didn't have a lot, and you see things on Facebook now where people want to know, do you remember your phone number? Well, there was only one person in our family that had a phone, and that was my uncle that, my uncle by marriage, that he worked in a butcher shop and he partly owned it, but other than that, and the only other person that had a car was my cousin married a Canadian, and he had a car in Canada, so he worked for a Ford Motor Company in Britain, and he had a car. The rest of the time you used a streetcar or you walked.
Wow. So you really did your part. You went to school.
Yeah.
You pursued an associate's degree. You came to America. You got employed. Became successful.
And worked up until I was 85.
Worked till you were 85. That's quite a story.
Yep.
So Betty, you decided to donate $150,000 to Amberley Village for our employees and their families for a scholarship. So how did you come up with that idea?
Well, I've got a lot of friends that their kids are going to college, and it's so expensive, and they're looking for finances and working, and going to school and so on. And I have no family. I have a few second cousins in Scotland, but I have nobody here in the United States. So I got to thinking, what am I going to do with my finances that I worked very hard for? So I decided that everybody in Amberley has been so nice and so friendly and so on. Help them. So that was my first venture. And the other thing that I'm very interested in is Matthew 25. And Wendell just died the other day there. He used to be the minister in our church.
Oh, really?
And he went to Nicaragua, and he came back from Nicaragua, and he basically was not interested in the church. He was more interested in the people in Nicaragua. And he started Matthew 25.
That's how it started?
That's how it started.
So he was a pastor?
Yes.
At what church?
At that time, it was Montgomery Baptist Church, but now it's like everything else. It's a community church.
Community church.
Everything's community. Yeah.
Wow.
So I give a lot of clothing and everything and money to Matthew 25.
Yeah, it's a very worthwhile ministry. Yeah. Absolutely.
Plus the Salvation Army and other things. And when I was doing something, and I thought, I've got this money market here, and I need to do something with it. So that's when I thought, I'll give it to Amberley.
It's quite impactful for our employees and their families to receive that. So this past year, we awarded 2 scholarships.
Yeah.
So we have 2 employees' families who are
Happy.
going to college, very happy to be the recipient of the scholarship.
Well, I actually saw where Ed Hatton back, and I was very friendly with Ed.
Okay.
And it was very sad what happened to him. And I saw where he had this scholarship, and I thought, that would be an idea. Do that.
So that was sort of the link.
That was leading me into it, to think about it.
Okay, great, great.
Yeah.
All right. So we've just awarded these 2 scholarships. So what advice would you have for scholarship recipients to sort of aspire to be in your footsteps? What kind of advice would you want them to have?
Well, today, if you don't have a degree, you can't get very far. And frankly, I don't understand why you have to have a degree, because you can be very intelligent and not go to school. And secondly, we need plumbers and all trades. So it's hard to get into the trade union, apparently. And I just think you just have to work for it.
So would your advice be to these young students to work hard?
Work hard.
Okay. Strong.
And if necessary, take a part-time job while you're going to school, because I'm sure that most of them could do that.
Obviously, you have a very strong work ethic.
Yes.
What would be your advice to a young person about work ethic?
Well, if you don't work hard, you're not going to get any place.
If you don't work hard, you're not going to get any place.
You have to think about it and make sure. And now today, very few people stay like I did 50 years or 25 years at the Joseph Company. In fact, the Dutch tried to fire me. And I told them, I said, you can't fire me. Because, see, my boss had retired. David Joseph had retired. Okay. And the Dutch decided that they weren't going to pay him and they weren't going to pay me. And I said, well, you got a choice. But I said, my husband is a union representative, and he knows all the ins and outs. And I said, I have not gotten 25 years in yet. I said, I've got a year and a half to go. And I'm going to stay here for a year and a half, because it meant I was only getting a small pension, whereas if I stayed for the 25 years, I was getting 92% of my pension. So they went to the lawyers, and the lawyers told them, yes, you have to keep her going. So I worked for a year and a half.
Okay. So Betty, obviously you have a very strong work ethic. You're very smart, very intelligent to be able to tell the Dutch that this is what you need to do.
But I've made it to 90, so.
So your advice to a college-age student in general would be? Enjoy it,
but work hard for your degree, and when you get a degree. But of course, as I say today, people don't stay, even Procter & Gamble, they don't stay at Procter & Gamble anymore, But of course, everything's different at P&G than it was years ago, where you got stock and all that kind of stuff. Everything's different now. But if you don't like the job, you get another one. And people go from city to city.
It's a very mobile society.
Very mobile now.
Very mobile, yes.
Entirely different.
But you were very mobile as well.
Yeah, I
making
could.
the decision to move from Glasgow to
Yeah.
Cincinnati. That was huge at that time, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yep.
So what would you want a scholarship recipient to know about Betty Whitaker 25 years from now?
Nothing really. She was nice enough to leave money and help me and go through school. That's it. Don't have to know anything about me. It just shows, though, that you can work for something.
Yeah. Well, you're very
and
humble.
help others.
You're very humble, Betty, but you've obviously achieved a lot in your life.
I have.
And you have been very generous to our employees. And for the next 40 plus years, our employees will benefit from that.
Yeah, it should last. And I think GCF will do a good job.
Yes. So when in 25 years, I think the recipients of the scholarship will know a lot about Betty Whitaker and be very thankful for what you did for them, and certainly recognize your hard work.
Well, I'm hoping that maybe more people in Cincinnati, in Amberley Village, will do the same thing.
Pick up and do that? Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'm hoping.
So you turned 90 this year.
I'm almost 91. But don't worry about the white hair. I started getting white at 18.
18? You were early, huh?
Where people would dye their hair, I would put black in my hair. Instead of white, I would put black in my hair.
So you were early, or turned white
very early.
Wow. Okay. So you turned 90 and you're soon to be 91. So what do you contribute your longevity to?
I really don't know. And I've been very, very fortunate. I've never been sick.
Wow.
Touch wood. I've never been sick. So I haven't taken any drugs or anything. I've just been lucky. And my grandmother lived to be 87. My mother lived to be 88, but she had Parkinson's disease.
Okay.
And I've been very fortunate.
Are you a healthy eater?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you've taken care of yourself.
And I must admit, I do like Scotch.
Scotch?
Keep my country in business. Keep my country in business.
Oh my goodness. Scotch.
Yeah.
Wow.
After all. Well, actually, I'm helping the Kennedys. They get a percentage on every bottle of Scotch that's brought into this country. Joe Kennedy did that when he was ambassador to Britain.
Really? I don't know much about Scotch. So it comes from Scotland?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
all imported.
All imported. So you think having some Scotch each day helps?
I would think so.
Obviously.
Obviously, it's helped me.
Well, Betty, you have been quite an inspiration for our employees. The employees are extremely excited about this opportunity.
I'm happy about that.
And we're just thrilled that you've done this. I'm actually promoting it to other city managers.
Yeah, as I say, I'm going to promote it here in Amberley. I'm sure we've got a lot of doctors and that live across the street from me, and they could donate maybe because over in Rolling Acres and so on. We've got a lot of good people here.
Well, it certainly is unique in my profession to hear a resident that has been so generous to the village. And so I just want to promote that to other city managers who may come across that type of opportunity. Because most of us don't think that a resident like you would step up and do something for the employees' families. That's very commendable.
Well, as I say, I don't have any family, so I've got to do something. And when I saw that with Ed's family, I thought, that would be an idea.
Well, we thank you for that.
And of course, the attorney, Charles, lives, you know,
Not too
on
far from here.
Galbraith, so it's nice for everything to work out that way.
Well, Betty, you've certainly made an indelible mark on Amberley Village.
you.
So we
I
do
appreciate
appreciate your
that.
generosity. We appreciate you being a village resident here. And please let us know how we might be able to continue to help you.
Well, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be a resident. My house is a big house and my yard is a huge yard, and taking care of everything is hard. It's hard. And since I'm not getting any younger, it's getting harder. But as I say, I've lived all these years here and been very pleasant.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell future recipients of the scholarship?
Not really, just work hard and get a good job and pay attention to how you invest your money.
You've done that well.
I
You've done
have.
that well. Yes. All right.
I was thankful that my girlfriend invited me into a investment club.
Investment club at an early age?
No, back in the 90s.
So not that long ago. Okay.
Yeah, but I have been very fortunate in that manner. Before that, I was very astute with everything. You know, didn't squander, didn't buy a new car every 2 years and all that kind of stuff.
So the investment club was helpful for you?
Oh, extremely helpful. Yeah. Or you would invest in a money market fund or something like that, but I ended up buying stock, and so far I've been pretty fortunate.
That's great.
Some days is good and some days is bad.
That's the stock market.
Thanks to Mr. Trump. I keep wondering if I'm going to have anything left.
Okay, Betty, thank you very much for spending time with us,
I
talking about
appreciate
yourself
it. It's
and
been a
your life.
pleasure being with you. Tammy, you too. And any way I can help, let me know.
All right, thank you.
While I'm still around here. But you got to keep going. If you're going to do it, you better do it fast, because I don't know how long I'll be around. I understand that 1.3% of the population is over 85.
3% over 85.
1.3%.
1.3%. Wow.
Yes.
You're in the top tier of that, Betty.
Well, all our friends are dying.
Yeah,
I don't have very many friends.
that's true, yeah.
Syrian Shrine down in Reading, we used to have 1,200 at a dinner dance. Right now, they've got 702 members.
Wow.
And of course, I do a lot for the Shriners Hospital.
The Shriners.
So supporting them is
Important to you.
I mean, they do a good job.
All right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being
Thank you,
invited.
Betty.
And
Thank you.
anything I can do, as I say, if you got any more good ideas, let me know.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Who knows, I might be able to help.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.